As we learn together, I think it's important to note that each one of us brings in our own perspectives, assumption, and ideas to conversations we have around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Each of us grew up in different cities, with different home lives, and we were trained to view the world in a certain way. As a result, we all have different racial habits that have been formed over the course of our lives. Some of the habits that we have formed are good. They are rooted in love, justice, and appreciation for others' differences. But other habits are hurtful and can be rooted in ignorance or fear and marginalize whoever is different. One of the racial habits we can carry is internalized racism. On a very basic level, internalized racism can be hard to see and talk about, as it's determined by our own culture, beliefs, biases, and standards of beauty. It's a type of habit that is directly formed as a result of the world around each of us individually. Typically, the term internalized racism has two different ways that it's used. For some people, internalized racism is an experience of racial oppression. It speaks to the feeling of inferiority that is internalized as a result of different things a person has experienced over the course of their life. Some people begin to realize that they feel the need to shed their heritage, and whatever the world around them thinks begins to become what they think. This can be particularly painful as they process different ways that the culture around them has impacted them in subtle and not so subtle ways. For example, I grew up in the Central Valley of California, and I watched this up close as one of my best friends in high school experienced this firsthand. Her family is from Spain, and she did all that she could to fit in with everyone around her. She was the life of the party and would often make backhanded jokes about her heritage because she knew it would get a laugh from the people around her. It's only been recent that she's been able to articulate the pain that caused her over her life. Now, for others, internalized racism often manifests as racial superiority. Racial superiority is a complex, multi-generational socialization process that teaches a group of people to believe, accept, and or live with superior societal definitions of their particular race. As a white person, this is really hard for me to recognize in my own life. I feel like I often have to sift through the layers of my own opinions and knee-jerk reactions to see if they're rooted in feelings of superiority or privilege. I grew up in a family where racist comments and actions were really, really easy to spot. And in a way, I saw my family's tendencies as a them problem and not a me problem. But as I've gotten older, I've noticed subtle tendencies in how I treat others. From speaking down to someone in a position of service when I'm not getting my way, to doing a double take when I encounter a person of color when I'm alone. But as I recognize my initial responses or views of the world around me, I'm able to notice different formed habits in my own self. And it's through recognizing those habits that I'm able to bring those to the Lord and ask Him to form me into the person He wants me to be. It's also important to note the need for community in all of this. It is important for people who experience internalized racism as one who is oppressed to have safe spaces to express their experiences and be empowered to overcome this habit. For those who exercise internalized racism from a view of superiority, it's important to talk with others about our own biases and learn how to overcome them, committing to deepening our awareness of how our actions and our inaction affects those around us.